In mid-1998, WWF introduced a mysterious new character to its roster, Gangrel. Played by David Heath, Gangrel was a gothic vampire-inspired wrestler with a striking look, long blonde hair, fanged teeth, and an eerie, supernatural presence. His entrance was one of the most unique in WWF history. Emerging from a ring of fire, he would sip from a goblet and spew a red liquid resembling blood, creating a haunting atmosphere. The eerie gothic music and red lighting made it feel like something straight out of a horror movie. But Gangrel wasn't just about theatrics. He was a solid in-ring performer with a hard-hitting style. Before arriving in the WWF, he had wrestled in various promotions, including Stampede Wrestling, ECW, and WWE's developmental territories. His vampire persona had been a long-time passion project, and when WWF gave him the platform, he made the most of it. However, his biggest impact in WWF wouldn't come from his singles career, but from forming one of the most iconic factions of the Attitude Era, the Brood. In late 1998, WWF was building its tag team and mid-card division, and two promising young stars were emerging, Edge and Christian. Edge, real name Adam Copeland, had debuted earlier that year as a mysterious loner. He was billed as a tormented soul, often appearing through the crowd and wrestling in high-energy matches. Meanwhile, his childhood friend Christian, real name Jay Resso, made his debut at the Breakdown in Your House PPV in September 1998. Christian was immediately aligned with Gangrel, revealing that he and Edge had a history. It was later revealed in storyline that Gangrel had turned Christian into his gothic lifestyle, and he soon tried to recruit Edge. At first, Edge resisted, reluctant to join his old friend in this dark new path. But eventually, he gave in, and together, they formed the Brood, a trio of gothic warriors with a unique and sinister aura. The Brood wasn't a traditional faction focused on championships or dominance. Instead, they acted as a mysterious, almost cult-like group, often attacking other wrestlers and performing their infamous bloodbaths, where their victims would be drenched in the red liquid under dramatic lighting. Their eerie presence, combined with their explosive in-ring performances, made them a fan-favorite act, even though they were initially portrayed as heels. By early 1999, the Brood caught the attention of The Undertaker, who was leading a sinister faction known as the Ministry of Darkness. The Ministry was a dark, cult-like stable dedicated to spreading chaos in the WWF, and the Brood fit right into its eerie aesthetic. The Brood aligned with The Undertaker and his disciples, taking part in eerie rituals and ambushes on his enemies. However, the partnership was short-lived. The Brood, despite their dark persona, operated under their own rules. They soon clashed with the acolytes Farouk and Bradshaw, and Midian and Viscera, leading to tension with The Undertaker himself. One of the key moments that led to their departure from the Ministry came when Undertaker ordered the Brood to punish Christian for failing him. Instead of following orders, Edge and Gangrel turned on the Ministry and saved Christian. This act of defiance led to the Brood separating from the Ministry, establishing themselves once again as an independent faction. By mid-1999, cracks began to form in the Brood. Gangrel's influence over Edge and Christian started to wane, and he attempted to align himself with the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff Hardy, instead. This led to Edge and Christian turning against Gangrel, officially splitting the Brood. Gangrel remained in WWF for a while longer, but his role diminished, and by 2001, he quietly left the company. Meanwhile, Edge and Christian flourished. They transitioned from their gothic roots into a more comedic, charismatic team, known for their over-the-top personalities, posing with sunglasses and delivering hilarious promos. Their rivalry with the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys became legendary, culminating in the first of the TLC matches, which revolutionized tag team wrestling. Edge and Christian would go on to become 7-time WWF Tag Team Champions, cementing themselves as one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Eventually, Edge became a world champion and a WWE Hall of Famer, while Christian also found success as a multi-time world champion. Despite being active for only about a year, the Brood left a lasting impact on the wrestling world. Their gothic entrance, chilling presence, in connection to some of the most important storylines of the Attitude Era ensured they were never forgotten. Their influence can still be seen today, with many wrestlers paying homage to their iconic entrance and vampire-like persona. While Gangrel may not have reached the same heights as Edge and Christian, his role in introducing them to the world remains one of his greatest contributions to wrestling history. And even today, whenever the eerie red light and haunting music of the Brood plays, fans are instantly transported back to one of the most memorable factions of the late 90s. The Brood's influence lingers, a reminder that in wrestling, the most unforgettable moments aren't always defined by titles or longevity, but by the lasting impression they leave on those who witness them.